My 8-year-old daughter came home from tuition crying every day for a week. She wouldn't tell me why. Today, I decided to pick her up early and saw her teacher pull her aside after class. I hid behind the corner. Then someone arrived in a black coat. I froze when I realized who it was. She cried again. Silent, trembling tears staining her sleeves as she slipped off her shoes by the door. Every day this week, the same ritual. Her small shoulders hunched, her voice shrinking to whispers whenever I asked why. And tonight, after dinner, she said something different. "Baba, can you come tomorrow? Don't tell Mama." A request, almost a plea. That was enough. My daughter has always been quiet, but not like this. Not broken. Something or someone was eroding her little world. So I went. I stood outside the tuition center an hour early, leaning against the shadows of the wall. The bell rang, and children poured out, loud and free. She wasn't among them. Then I saw it, her teacher's hand on her shoulder, pulling her aside. My daughter's head lowered, her fists clenched. I stepped back, unseen, into the corner of the hall. The door opened again. Someone entered. A black coat, sharp and heavy, the smell of expensive cologne trailing like a ghost, and my blood froze. It was him. Not a stranger, not a colleague, my brother. For a moment, my mind rejected it. Why would he be here? Why would he walk into her classroom with such familiarity, such confidence? My daughter looked up, and her expression told me everything. Fear, recognition, silence. The teacher glanced toward him, eyes soft in a way I had never seen with me. My brother's hand brushed hers, as if it had done so before. A silent agreement passed between them. I stood there, still, controlled. Inside, something ripped open. I remembered the messages my wife had deleted last month. Short calls answered in another room. Excuses layered too neatly. I told myself I was paranoid. I told myself love doesn't rot in silence. But now, watching him, my own blood, approach my daughter's teacher like a man entering familiar territory, denial shattered. The crying made sense. My little girl wasn't hiding from her teacher. She was hiding from the shame of knowing. Children always sense more than they can explain. And I, her father, had been blind. I said nothing. I walked away before either of them could see me. That night, I lay awake staring at the ceiling, my wife's soft breathing beside me. Every inhale felt like betrayal. Every exhale like poison in my veins. I began quietly. A phone left charging in the kitchen. A password she thought I didn't know. Messages. Buried beneath careful deletions. Her and him. Arrangements cloaked in professional excuses. A photograph, blurry but clear enough. Then my daughter's teacher's name surfaced. The missing link. My wife's helpful recommendation months ago suddenly reeked of orchestration. My daughter's education was nothing more than a convenient veil. I didn't rage. I documented. Screenshots. Dates. Transfers. Patterns. The next morning, I scheduled a DNA test. Not for me, for my daughter. Because once suspicion begins, it does not stop where you want it to. It claws deeper, asking questions you never wished to imagine. I smiled at my wife as I poured her tea, kissed my daughter's forehead, played the role of man and father flawlessly. Inside, I counted hours, minutes, breaths. Every step closer to the truth, I felt myself harden. The envelope arrived a week later, heavy in my hand, yet weightless compared to the storm it carried. I opened it slowly, read each line twice. Numbers, percentages, cold science, colder than my heart had already become. Relief first, she was mine. My daughter was truly mine. But that relief cut deeper into the betrayal. My wife hadn't replaced me as a father. No, She had simply twisted our home into a stage where she and my brother performed their secret act behind closed curtains. That evening, I asked her calmly to sit. I placed the printed messages, the photograph, and the test results in front of her. Her face drained. Her lips trembled, forming excuses that never reached sound. I watched, silent. Finally, I asked, "How long?" Her eyes broke. Tears fell. She whispered his name, my brother's. I felt nothing, only a sharpened clarity. The next day, I invited them both, my wife, my brother, together. I didn't shout. I didn't curse. I simply slid the evidence across the table in the dining room where we had celebrated birthdays, anniversaries, Eid. My daughter slept upstairs, safe from the poison spilling below. "I know everything," I said. My voice was calm, detached. A scalpel, not a hammer. He tried to speak, but words died in his throat. She reached for me, but I leaned back. "This ends tonight. You don't leave this house as family. You leave as nothing." Handed them both copies of the documents, then stood. "I've already filed. Divorce. Custody. You won't touch her again. Neither of you." The silence that followed was the loudest sound I have ever heard. Their faces collapsed, their alliance shattered under the cold weight of exposure. I walked away, not to punish further, not to rage. I didn't need to. Truth was the blade. I had only guided it to their throats. It's been 3 nights since. My daughter sleeps peacefully now. No more tears at the door. No more whispers of fear. The house is quieter. Not emptier, quieter. I do not think of my wife. I do not think of my brother. They chose the darkness together. Let them drown in it. I think only of my daughter, of her strength hidden beneath fragile tears. She taught me to see what I had ignored. Love can blind. Betrayal sharpens. I am no longer blind, and I will never forgive. Some truths don't destroy you. They carve you into something colder, sharper, and far more dangerous.